Thumbs up? All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Nordby?
Here.
Councilmember Woods?
Here.
Councilmember McKenzie?
Here.
Councilmember Schwer?
Here.
Mayor Mungy?
Here. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
So moved.
So move, Councilmember Schwer.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Norby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I like it. Everybody's on the dime today for this. Good deal. All right.
First up is a presentation and for the Holiday Lights Award, and Ava is going to take that over.
Welcome.
Thank you, Council. Okay. Once you can see it on your screen, let me know. Okay, so we're back. So I'll kind of give you the overview of
One
what
second.
this was. Oh,
Can we have it up on the front screen, please? If you can. Thank you. There we go.
awesome. Okay, so residents have submitted their house, different pictures. What they're going to win is a sign that they can keep on their front yard. It says, winner of the Holiday Lights Contest. Will be featured in the newsletter tomorrow, as well as on our social media, so that other people can enjoy their lights. So how this is going to work is you all got a blue sticky note in front of you. I'm going to show you 4 different houses. You guys will pick your favorite. I'll collect the sticky notes, and then that will decide the winner. Okay, so submission number 1. We have some nice candy canes, very sparkly.
Very nice.
Okay, so that's,
Can we ooh and ah?
Yes.
pardon?
Can we ooh and ah?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Please. Number 2, more colorful.
Yes.
Very nice.
Depends what you like. Number 3, we also have a back porch view. It's kind of fun. And number 4 is a big tree.
Big tree.
Okay, so here's them all together. So please write your vote, and then once you're ready, I will come and grab it from you.
Did somebody borrow your guy's ladder truck to get that tree done? Holy moly. That's impressive.
Okay.
Have a GLG to get up there.
Okay, and the winner is number 4. So the resident will be contacted
Congratulations.
tomorrow, and then I'll get that signed to them, and they can display it for the season.
They were all great. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Council. Merry
Appreciate it.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, everybody, for submitting those,
Yes.
participating.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Item A, December 2nd, 2025, City Council Workshop and Regular Meeting Minutes. Item B, general claims of $1,782,620.06. Item C, HRA claims of $1,086.23. Item D, 2025 annual review of attendance of boards and commission members. Item E, resolution accepting donations for November of 2025. Item F, building permits for November of 2025. Item G, resolution approving the reinstatement of Patrick Blease to the Planning Commission. Item H, Arts and Culture Commission appointment. Item I, resolution approving the 2026 fee schedule. Item J, approve the 2026 City Council meeting calendar. Item K, annual resolution appointing acting mayor for 2026. Item L, 2026 annual polling place designations. Item M, special event permit for the History Cruisers Car Show. Item N, approve surplus equipment from the fire department. Item O, approve abatement of dead ash trees. Item P, Ramsey Washington Metro Watershed District Memorandum of Understanding for removal of sediment in North St. Paul Ponds 7 and 4. And item Q, approve software and service extension agreement between the City of North St. Paul and Census.
Thank you very much. Would anybody like to pull any at this time? If not, can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Councilmember Schwer? Second, Councilmember Kinsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, next part is meeting open to the public. John Schmal?
Evening, council and mayor.
Good evening.
John Schmal, 2750 Chisholm Avenue. The subject is the chlorine added to the water. A couple of weeks ago, whatever it is, I found out about it because of a posting on Ring. Someone said, have you heard or have you tasted your water or smelled your water? It smells like chlorine. Well, on our side of town, north and west, no smell. I don't know if they injected it in the well on that side of town, no clue. But anyway, about 10 years ago, I attended a seminar, whatever it is, put on by Ramsey County, and there was a professor from the University of Minnesota. It had to do with water and problems with water as a source for drinking water. And his position is that all water should be chlorinated. Without a doubt, it should be chlorinated. To the point that he had decided that his cabin had a well, and he would not drink that water. He'd use it for bathing or whatever. But he lived in St. Paul, he would bring his water to drink from St. Paul, where he lived. And St. Paul's water is chlorinated. He was that adamant about having chlorinated water. So I decided, hey, I'll get up here and I'll tell the council, this is what a learned person thought about chlorine added to water. And man, was that met with a wrong like this. There was a movie that I remember, Eli Wallach in it, something about a posse or whatever, and they were asked for their badges, and I remember the statement going, we don't need no stinking badges. So the response that I got 10 years ago from the council was, we don't need no stinking chlorine because our water doesn't need it, or something like that. You know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Thank you.
Thanks,
John, do you happen to remember his name? Do you happen to remember his name?
No, I don't. So, 10 years ago? Thank you.
Thank you.
2 years old.
Well,
I used to do opposite. I used to go from St. Paul and get water in North St. Paul for my in-laws. Go ahead.
All right, city business action items. First up, item A, adopt the 2026 final levy and budgets. We'll probably move on to A, B, and C with Dan here. Then we'll move on to the 2026 non-levy budgets and then capital improvement plan. So I'll turn it over to Finance Director Winnick.
Mayor, council members, I don't have a lot to say today about this. This is the culmination of about 8 months of work, starting with the department heads going through and preparing their budgets, to meetings for review with the city manager and myself, to presentations to city council. We met on December 2nd, last city council meeting and a workshop, kind of discussed where we were at with the 2026 and where we wanted to be with the levy, and so all of the budgets and everything that are presented in front of you today and the resolutions are all in alignment with our meeting on December 2nd. And so overall, when you take the city, the HRA, the EDA, and again, the city has a number of different components made up of the general fund, street maintenance fund, park fund, asset preservation fund, and the debt fund. All of it is an 8% levy increase over last year. And what that results into is a difference of $638,000. And so the resolutions, there's 3 of them. There's a resolution for adopting the final levy for North St. Paul's general fund, park fund, street maintenance fund, asset preservation budgets, and setting the final 2026 general purpose and debt service levies. So there's that resolution that needs to be voted upon. then there's the HRA levy, and the EDA levy. But before you take any votes on to them, wanted to give the city council an opportunity to ask any final questions, concerns, and if there's any changes that they would like to make at this time before they vote.
Thank you, Dan. Is there anything? We were pretty thorough, I think, through our meetings.
You've made it pretty clear, Dan. Meetings have been fantastic. I think in my opinion, I think we're heading in the right direction.
I agree. Yeah, we're good to go.
So then we'll take the first resolution, which is adopting the final 2026 general fund, park fund, street maintenance, asset preservation budgets, and setting the final 2026 general purpose and debt service levies.
Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Schwer.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Norby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the second resolution is adopting the final 2026 tax levy for North St. Paul Housing and Redevelopment Authority.
Can I have a motion on that, please?
So moved.
So move, Councilmember Woods.
Second.
Second, Councilmember McKenzie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the third resolution is adopting the final 2026 tax levy for the North St. Paul Economic Development Authority.
Motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Councilmember Schwer.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Woods. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The next item is adopting the 2026 city non-levy budgets. And these are internal service funds, enterprise funds, and special revenue funds that have budgets. And there is a resolution that's with there, so the enterprise funds, proprietary funds, in internal service funds are in proprietary funds. You'll have the electric, the water, wastewater, surface water, solid waste, fiber optic, building maintenance, city mechanic, equipment, information technology, and insurance. And then in the governmental funds or the special funds or the community center, the community event budget, and the fire relief budget. And so there is a resolution to adopt those 2026 non-levy budgets.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please? So move, Councilmember McKenzie.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Schwer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And then the third item is to adopt the 2026-2035 capital improvement plan. All of the items that are in the column of 2026 are incorporated already in all of the budgets. There will be a discussion tonight on one of the items that is in there for 2026, and that's the ladder truck. All of the items in 2026 have funding, and you've just kind of gone through and approved those. You do have options on the capital improvement plan that if there's an item that, you want to be brought back in front of the city council, we can certainly add that to the resolution. But I think we've gone through the CIP and saw the changes. There were some changes towards the end, but I think the biggest one, which we'll hear a little bit later about, will be the ladder truck.
Sounds good. Motion for that?
And we need a motion to approve to adopt the 2026 to 2035 capital improvement plan.
May I have a motion, please? So move, Councilmember McKenzie.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Schwer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That ends my three items and wraps up another year from a budgetary standpoint. I do want to say with all the sincerity in the world, I thank the City Council very much. It is a pleasure to serve you, and I look forward to another year. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Appreciate it. You too.
Thanks, you too.
Gonna head down and start on the 27 budget now?
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. We've got audits starting in January. We get our traditional January, February, and March meetings with that. And then yes, in the meantime, when in March, once I get the numbers solid, then I start the budget and get them out to all the department heads. It's just kind of a circular cycle.
Groundhog
isn't
Day,
it?
the
Just-
movie, huh? Just
It is. It
popping
just
back
keeps
up, the
popping
same
back
thing?
up. Yeah, over and over again.
No, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next up is item D, adding application definition to the city code. We got Community Development Director Ken to discuss. right.
We got a new face over there. Good. Oh. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This item is brought before you in another effort to clean up and clarify some of our city code and processes. Specifically, we're proposing to add the definition of application to the definitions in our general provisions in our code. We surprisingly don't have one. Maybe there wasn't ever a need for one. And so, again, I'll give Sarah full credit on this. She started taking this on because we had questions from especially one contractor or vendor who wants to or has been in the past submitting all their applications on paper form. And we've really pushed, and before my time, to have everybody submit things electronically. And they continue to resist. And so when reviewing the code to say if we could mandate it, we didn't have strong enough language in the code to do so. So this accomplishes that, in part because we now add a definition of application in the code, and we, again, Sarah solicited advice from the League of Minnesota Cities and our city attorney, and in summary, we can add the definition of application, and with the wording that we have, it clarifies all applications must be made as specified by city staff. And that way, we can mandate that they submit it electronically. The only option out of that is if, for example, somebody is unable to, say, with a disability or some kind of thing, we would make accommodations for that. But we want to, again, add this language to the code, and so the proposed definition, which is in your packet, says, and it's an ordinance, an application is the formal process of an applicant submitting a filed and complete form furnished by the city, and that's the key word, to North St. Paul for authorization to conduct a specific activity. The form and all documentation are required as a prerequisite to the city considering the activity, permit, or license. And so it's our recommendation to add that to the code, and then therefore we can go ahead and require electronic submittals consistent with that wording, and again, unless there's a specific reason they can't. So that's our recommendation. There's an ordinance in your packet that would add that language to the code.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Any questions at this time?
Is there a fee when you do it submit through the computer system? Or is there an extra fee? for
There's
that?
the electronic filing fee, yes. Pardon? I don't know if,
I just asked about a reasonable accommodation. And if a reasonable accommodation states in the code, and Jack was just informing me that it's
You're good?
upon request. Yep, so we're good.
Good, okay. All right. We need a vote on that?
yes, there's an ordinance, and so we'd like somebody to make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Councilmember Schwer.
So moved. Or
McKenzie.
second.
Second. Oh, you're so moved. You're taking the mayor's job, huh? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't want that job.
Better read that again. Next up is adding the Second Amendment to the agreement with Rum River Consultants. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Brian, members of the council, and Mr. Mayor. We are presenting an amendment to the Rum River contract we have for our building inspection services. What prompted this primarily are two things. They proposed some revisions to their fees, which were in the contract, and we have now put those fees into the fee schedule rather than the contract. And secondly, the current contract didn't have a time limit on it or time frame. It was open-ended. It didn't say it would end in 1 year or 3 years or 5 years. So the proposed contract now has a 5-year term with it can be extended mutually by both parties. So those are the two primary changes that we're proposing. So it cleans it up for both parties. Rum River has reviewed this and they will accept it, assuming city approves it. So we're recommending approval of the Second Amendment to the contract.
Okay, thank you. I've heard good things about Rum River as far as how they've been working with the city. Is that what the overall has been?
Yeah, they've
For
been good
everybody?
to work with. Yep. We haven't heard anything out of the ordinary. Have you?
I've not heard any bad news.
No,
Which is,
same here. I've heard people that it's a little bit more streamlined and a little easier and
Yeah.
they get out there at a decent speed, so.
They're-
Good.
Yep.
All right, a motion, please.
So moved.
So moved. Councilmember Woods, second McKenzie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'm even getting the names right tonight. This is really,
Slow down.
I know.
You're not-
Or maybe I
not
gotta
there
speed
yet.
up more.
All right, so next up is the Solid Waste and Recycling Collection Service Agreement, RFP. As you know, we've been working with FOTH, that company through Ramsey County that helps out coming up with the RFP. Our contract is through Tennis now, that goes through August 31st of 2026. So we're just getting the process going out for bids from other companies. Most everything is going to stay the same, except for that we're looking at different options for the bulk pickup. Currently, the contract says collection from the city now for solid waste and recycled pickup weekly, Tuesday through Friday, having the collection of yard waste available as an optional service, having bulky item curb pickups available for residents with a fee, continue the recent added food scrap program. The city will continue to provide the primary customer service for taking telephone calls and billing for the services as part of the utility billing, and to continue using the 35, 65, and 95-gallon collection carts. And the hauler will be responsible to oversee the maintenance and storage and delivery of those. So the new part is the contract will run from September 1st, 2026 through August 31st of 2031, 5-year contract. Contract would include 3 one-year extensions if both parties agreed. So the city is encouraging the responding contractors to include options and costs for the city to continue with the bulk waste pickup. Just certain options that you might have. Do you do it monthly? Do you do it quarterly? And so they'll come back with different options. And even though that you hopefully will get bids from many of the different haulers, if we find one that you like and approve, we can go back to the other haulers and say, we'd like you to put a bid in on this option because that's what you guys liked. So deal with that once the RFP comes back. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Ken?
if I may, yes, Brian outlined it very well. And we did have the city attorney review both the proposed RFP and the draft contract, and all his comments are included in the documents. And what we're asking the council to do tonight is to approve the draft request for proposals as prepared and as in your packet. And if it is approved, there's a motion for you to do so. Then we will release it tomorrow to the public, to the internets, to start soliciting the bids. And I'll just take a minute, Brian, if you
Please.
also don't mind. The whole process, I'll put this on the screen, this is in your packet. Assuming it's approved tonight, we publish it and send it out for requests. The the first, or they are due back to staff February 13th. We start evaluating them middle of February to middle of March. We would do interviews if we need to with certain vendors that clarify things, talk about bulky waste if we need to. We complete our evaluations by staff. By middle of April, April 21st, we'd bring it to the council with a recommendation for which hauler. Then we start the final negotiations. Then we bring the final contract to the council in May. Hopefully that's executed and put in place by June 1st. They start their business on September 1st. So there's a lot of steps to go through before we get to the hauler. This is really step one of about 10. But this puts it out in the world, saying we're looking for trash haulers and we're looking for their responses. So that is what we're asking for tonight.
And you said is there a third party? Is it Foth? That's,
Yes. Foth is a consultant that Ramsey County uses to help prepare these, and it's
Okay.
at no cost to the city.
yeah.
So they've been very helpful in putting all these documents together.
So Foth will collect all of that information. and
No,
then-
we get to.
Oh, we do. Okay, so it's still,
They-
Together.
They will help us do the evaluations, but it's staff, me, will be taking them in and,
you get the glory of all that.
yes, collecting them and all that.
Comparing, contrasting.
Well, but we have a team within the city and both the finance department and community development with Chris and myself. We'll review them, we'll score them, we'll rank them, hopefully come out with one or two that we think are the best, bring that back to the council.
Great.
And to be clear, those trash can are the cities right now. that
Yes.
We have, because one time we had new trash hauler and they came and picked up cans and dropped off. So we're gonna get new haulers, but the same cans, just in case people are like, well, I still got the same one.
That has not changed.
Correct. All right. I have a motion. If everybody has any, I'll try that again. If no questions, no more questions, so I have a motion, please.
I'd like to make that motion.
All right, thank you.
Talk trash.
All right. Councilmember
Second.
Swear. Who's else going to talk trash?
Second.
Second, Norby. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item G is authorizing purchase of an E1 Metro 100-foot Quinton ladder truck. We have Fire Chief Malinger here.
Oh. Aren't you going to come stand up by him? I just had to get the look. No show and tell, you didn't bring one up? Yeah.
Hello, Mayor, council members. Thanks for having me here. In the packet submitted information regarding the E1 Metro 100 quit. Along with me here this evening, I have our Assistant Chief Jordan Wardell and Assistant Chief Ethan Johnson, both of whom were on the truck committee with other members as well. They're here and support and potentially help answer any questions as well. So beyond the packet and information that I had submitted, obviously I'm here before you to answer any questions that you may have, but I also have additional information that I'd like to add upon that. So I'm going to get started unless you have questions before I get going.
Right ahead. Thank you.
As stated, obviously, our current ladder truck is over 42 years old and well past its useful life. Current NFPA recommendations, a frontline truck should be replaced after 15 years and removed from service after 25. Our community, obviously, we are a smaller community with 3.5 square miles. We don't get as much road miles, but a lot of the use on our trucks, all of our trucks, are really when they're on scene for hours and hours and running and idling and running the pump at high speeds as well, or high RPMs is what I meant to say. Our city has changed a lot since the first time we got our first ladder truck or the platform truck in 1982. At that time, the primary reason for that was for Franklin Park Apartments with the 3 to 4 story buildings. And now, as we have added in recent years, many more 3 to 4 story buildings, the need for a ladder truck continues. A lot of these areas as well have smaller roads and smaller parking areas to get a larger truck in. So really, I can even remember when the mayor first got his position as mayor and came over and talked to me. And one of the first conversations we have was about our equipment and the cost of it and how it would affect our taxpayers. And I would even say before that, for me, knowing that the replacement of a truck of what we currently have was going to be an expensive task. So taking this opportunity at this time to really look at how we provide service to the community and if things could change, and not to just look at, hey, we have this truck right now and we need to replace it as is. And that was not the route we went. We looked at many different vendors. We talked to many different people. I've had many conversations with surrounding communities on what they have and how we provide service to one another. And really, the determination of coming to this specific truck made real good sense, and I'll kind of go through that a little bit more. Again, the replacement of our current truck platform, and platform means it has a bucket on the end to carry the people in. That specific truck, the brand, the Sutphen, would be $2.4 to $2.5 million. I knew that that was not going to be a feasible task for us. So we talked about how can we adjust our operations to still be able to work within the scope of having a ladder truck without a platform, and really talked about change in operations, policies, and potential procedures, and how we would be able to respond and what differences we would have to do and what have other departments done as well. A good term that I've heard recently was the term called right sizing, and really looking at it differently. Can I take a single axle truck with a 100-foot ladder and waterway work? And the answer was yes. We compared it to a large extension ladder that you have on the side of your house that takes a couple people to carry versus a little giant that could take one that can do the same job. I like that analogy. Department staffing and response has changed over the years. Previously, structure fires, we would look to have as many people as we could get on the truck, 6 to 7 people. With the change in how departments operate and with AutoAid, especially during the daytime, knowing that we have staff here in the station, our goal is to get out as quickly as possible and utilize the incoming staff that we have with AutoAid as well. Our ladder truck is a primary response vehicle. It's a frontline vehicle. It's the second truck out on all of our structure fires, alarms, and other types of calls as well. This type of ladder truck does not need a large crew like our current ladder truck needs to operate. It could be done with a minimum of 3 people. And along with, like I said, the AutoAid agencies that we have, there really is no other truck like it in the immediate area. Our neighboring departments have much larger trucks than what we are looking at. A big part of what I was looking at as well was beyond today, tomorrow, more into the future, beyond potentially 5, 10, 15, 20 years. What does that look like? Knowing that we are having our trucks for more than 20 years, I'm not going to be here for all of that time, and the next person in line, I want to be able to set them up for success as well. So I looked at it as well as there's some things that could be added or removed from the truck, but For us, it's going to be the second out truck, but potentially maybe the next person in charge wants it to be the first out truck. So making sure that it has those items on it if those changes were to be made at that time. So trying to set it up for success in the future as well. Recently, I've been meeting with the Insurance Service Office, ISO, as it relates to our city's rating, and have learned a few things. They recommend or require that our city has 2 engines and a ladder. Now, removing a ladder completely does what they call lose points. They look at the fire department as a whole. They look at our water system, how it's supplied. They look at how we respond to structure fires, whether they're residential or commercial, and how it affects that. So if we were to not have that, obviously it's going to affect the ISO rating. Going from a platform to a ladder with a 100-foot ladder doesn't change the points at all. As well, like I said, we had a truck committee as well that was part of the decision-making. Part of that was obviously our chief officers here and other officers, engineers, and firefighters to help make and determine this decision. And we've been very open with the department, discussing this and talking about our change. And I would like to say, I believe we have a full buy-in by everybody and understanding that. And I think part of that too is obviously because the majority of our members are, live in the city and understand keeping a budget in check, if you will, to make the most of our money, but still be able to provide a product that's going to help us as well. In the last 5 years, the costs for service and repair on the truck has been quite a bit, is well over $46,000 in the last 5 years, averaging just over $9,000 each year. Let me see.
Is that the cost for the turret itself, or is that for the engine part of it? Or you got injectors going out or things like that?
So with the ladder itself, a lot of moving parts. So those costs could be incurred from the pump itself.
Sure.
I
I was here when that truck was built back in '82,
Yeah.
I seen the truck when it was on my street putting
Yeah.
out that fire.
The problem that we've been having over and over again, as I've reviewed the invoices for repairs, so for the last 5 years or more, we've been having problems with the controls in the bucket that operate the up, down, the left, right, and the extend. And it's just due to the nature of it being that old, and there's no affordable solution to it. So we've been having problems twice within 2025 where we had to have that repaired. The last time in the fall, the pump did not pass.
I saw it sitting out here getting repaired that afternoon out in the parking lot.
Yep, it did not pass, and it had to go into the shop for repair as well. So that's kind of in addition to what is already in the packet. Do you have anything else you guys would like to add? Otherwise, I'll. Yeah. You can do it, Jordan.
Mayor, members of the city council, thank you for having us tonight. Do I need to stand?
No, you're good.
I would just like to echo, I think, Chief Mallinger throughout this entire process, as we've been evaluating multiple different apparatuses, really reinforced fiscal responsibilities. We've been looking at all these different apparatus, and that's something I really admire about Chief Mallinger, and both his push and determination to get the right pieces of equipment and apparatus for our city to protect our citizens, but also, as he alluded to, maintaining that fiscal responsibility and recognizing the tax burden that it places on the citizens of the city, as well as, I mean, we all live in the city as well, so we understand and recognize that. One thing I would just like to add is the modern fire environment presents a lot of unique challenges. And he kind of, as he alluded to, some of our neighboring communities have enhanced their fleet, purchased new apparatus. And the truck that we currently have doesn't necessarily provide us that opportunity to respond to the fire dynamics that we're called to address, especially with the multifamily occupancies that are being built in downtown North St. Paul. If we really have a fire, anything above the first floor, we're going to be looking to a piece of equipment like this to really make an impact on the fire, potential rescues, and most importantly, an elevated waterway. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I have one, and this probably is a two-part, one for you and one for Jack.
Yeah.
How many floor building do you feel this can safely handle? I don't know if handle's the right word, but safely fight a fire on? And then as we grow as a city, if someone puts forth an application that is a higher floor than what number they give here, is that okay for us to deny that permit based on us not having? Or would we be forced to get different equipment later on?
I'll start and kind of go, like I said, I've had conversations with the ISO gentleman. We've had hours and hours together reviewing many documents in our training files and such. So the conversation of minimally, because we have a 3-story and above, requires us to have a ladder. There's no doubt that if the potential was there to go 5, 6, or 7 stories, which there are communities around us that have those apartment buildings that are going that route. There are other fire protection items that can be placed inside the building that can help that. There's not much beyond a 100-foot type of ladder. Some go to 110, but that's fairly typical of what most departments have and carry, whether it's a platform or a ladder type truck. So hopefully that answers that question. But I would have to, not to take words out of the city attorney's mouth, but going by my conversations with the ISO officer, we understand that depending on, when we look at building an apartment building, making sure that there are what we call fire roads or fire lanes around it, that there's a protection system. We know if as you go higher, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're not going to be able to reach everything with that.
In terms of the applications, I mean, that's going to depend on what kind of an application comes in. In general, the existing zoning districts already have maximum height allowances within the code. For most things, that is going to be 3 stories. I think for the MU3, we go as high as potentially 5 stories. But as of right now, we would have to change the code to allow anything higher than that. And so if we were to get an application for a building that fire service could not, service, presumably we would just deny the application as not meeting the current code, and then we would deny any application to change the code because it would require additional firefighting resources.
Okay, thank you.
Would you ever consider holding on to your ladder truck as just an absolute backup?
There,
Even once you get your new rig? Due
as
to the fact that it would be help in case you couldn't get above some type of a fire.
there's departments that do have reserve vehicles, and you do get points added back in to ISO as well for having reserve vehicles. But no, that was not necessarily my thought behind it, just because of the added cost and ongoing maintenance. I might think differently about it if it wasn't quite so old.
Yeah.
But because of it, there are, like I said, we have gotten the useful life out of it. And currently, the ladder on that truck, we haven't climbed it in 15 years because the requirements now require a minimum of 18 inches on each side.
Okay.
This one just basically has a handle there are no sides to it, so we have not climbed that for years and years, just due to safety. So, because it's been retrofitted once and the high maintenance on it thus far, I would not want to keep it as a reserve.
Maybe we can offer it to former council member Tim Cole. He could add it to his fleet with his engine.
Well, hopefully he's listening.
Yeah. He might be interested in a ladder truck.
The ISO requirements.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the recommended and required, because as you were discussing, are we as a city required to have a ladder truck? Or is it highly recommended?
It's highly recommended. So what ends up happening is, within the fire service, we kind of look at that as we're being supported by or guided by three areas: ISO, NFPA, and obviously our own city ordinances, determinations, budget, and things like that. ISO is going to give our city a rating that's going to affect all of our homeowners and our business owners. If that rating, you have a rating of 1 to 10. Currently, we're at a 3. I want to stay at a 3 right now, okay? It's not likely that we would go to a 2 or a 1. It's very difficult to get there. Most full-time fire departments have a difficult time getting to a 2, so we have a great rating right now. If we were to drop a rating, that basically rating goes out to those other insurance companies that homeowners, business owners look at, and it's a rating that the insurance company goes, well, this fire department is doing a good job in their fire response. So how they determine, take that information and
We
adjust.
determine our ratings.
Correct.
Okay.
How much it's going to cost.
Excellent.
And each insurance company may do it a little bit differently, but the rating remains the same for all of them.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers.
That complete clarity with that one. Thank you.
Also, you said right sizing. Is there spots now around that, the size truck we have now that can't get to, that the new one would
Yes.
be able to do?
Yeah, so surprisingly, as we were going through this and realizing, one of them that we knew right off the top was Silas Point Apartments. Getting into that parking area, there's 3 apartment buildings with garages in there, and it's very tough to get our current engines in there. And our current ladder truck will not make it around any corner and get into position where we would need it. So this single axle would be beneficial. The cottages of North St. Paul, another small road type facility where we would have a difficult time. The new Gateway townhomes, 3 stories, multi-levels, multiple units, smaller, narrower streets. Crestwood Drive townhomes, yeah.
So that opens up a whole nother area
Would
that
they
we
have
didn't have
to
before.
park on the street and go up over the top then? Is that what you would generally do? If
You
drop
try to
under
get
it?
as close as you
Yeah.
can to be able to do it. But I can guarantee you today, if something were to happen in some of these places, we might not be able to necessarily reach it for the difficulty of being able to get in there.
Okay. I've noticed White Bear's do they have a E1 also? They have a
There's,
shorter wheelbase truck.
yes, it is a Pierce.
Pierce?
Yep, and that ladder truck is based out of their North Station and downtown White Bear Lake by their city hall.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen that one around.
Yep.
It's a nice little rig.
it's very similar.
So right now with with the truck we have now, the outriggers that go out
Correct.
distance-wise,
And this is another piece of it. They call it underslung, where the outriggers run from one inside or outside frame across underneath. The spread of the outriggers is a total of 11 feet. So basically, if you can open the doors, you have room to put down the outriggers and set up this truck, where our current ladder truck takes a minimum of 15 to 18 feet, depending on, because the outriggers go straight out from the side. And don't get me wrong, it's a great truck, but it requires a lot more space to operate.
What's your build time on this new one?
24 months, so,
Years?
yeah, 2 years. And that's a good build time in this time frame. I do know the larger platform trucks are over 4 years.
Now, is there gonna be a place for Ethan to ride in the front then, or are they gonna be able to mount him somewhere?
I don't know if we'll let Ethan ride in the front anymore.
And is there space for more volunteers on the fire department?
Yes,
Just double checking
yes,
for those watching.
yes. We have room.
Okay.
Yeah.
so
I mean, nope, sorry.
with the lead time, we got 24 months. So I mean,
Yes.
right now, we're just hoping that everything stays together as far as where we're at right now.
So if we were to approve this and sign the contract, we're going to be able to lock in the price as it is and lock in that time frame as well.
Where are they built at?
They're out of Florida, somewhere in northern Florida. Ocala? Yeah.
I appreciate the research that you did on this and your team. I think that with the two newer facilities we have downtown and the operation of our current ladder truck, I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't for it right away because it's expensive.
Yes.
But I also recognize that correct me if I'm wrong, maybe 75% of the team is a North St. Paul resident, and/or they live just within the border. So I personally think that it would be to our residents' advantage to have this, especially with two new complexes downtown. And I would really hate to see something occur and we don't have the time to get to it.
No, I appreciate that, and that's the one thing I wanted to express among you and the community, is that there was a lot of thought and research and conversations behind this. It wasn't just, hey, let's replace the ladder truck and move forward. I'm not up here saying we need this because it's what we have. There were other factors that went into it as well. And the three of us have sleepless nights sometimes because we want to make sure that our response is good. And I know that this type of truck will be something that our members will be able to operate and set up and utilize as well. That was a big part of it. Bigger truck requires a lot more experience to operate and drive. You probably know that, Dave, right? So that was a factor as well. But making sure that we have the right piece of equipment for our department was what it mainly came down
I
to.
got one more question. All right, being it built in Florida, who is gonna be able to do a service call on it, and where are they gonna have it repaired? And because are there local dealers that will repair a E-unit?
Great question. So talking with the salesman up in Duluth, and also when we went out and looked at a similar truck at Egan Fire Department, while the team was looking at the truck with the firefighters and the officers, I was talking to the chief officers about those types of things on service and maintenance. E1 has a service company that's in Ham Lake. And I was actually able to meet and talk with them. Came highly recommended from the other chief officers that have.
So they do have a
used them.
machine,
Yes.
service center out this way. Oh, that's
Correct.
nice. Okay.
So once it's up here,
That's only
that's
20,
who's
25
gonna,
miles up, so,
deal with it. Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's good to know.
good question.
I'm just glad we're opening up to more. I mean, before we couldn't get to certain places, now we're able to get better
Yeah,
service
even,
and be able to get
you
to
know,
it.
I think about the alleyways on the avenues and north, you know, not to say that the big one couldn't get down there, but this one will definitely be able to operate a lot easier and function within that area as well.
My concern is also the ISO, that we are compliant with our residents, that they all get the same treatment, and our fire department is up to the codes of what our residents need, and that's pretty important to everybody.
Yeah. Agreed.
Any more questions down the line here? Jason, I can see that's his usual thought.
Yeah, I have one, and this has less to do with you and more to do with Jack. Well,
That's good, we gotta pay him
Thanks for coming
anyways.
tonight, Jack.
No matter what, we pay him.
just because of something that recently happened in Minnesota, on something like this, how much is required down? And if this company happens to go bankrupt, are we as protected as we can be?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I guess I never.
For a
thought of-
2-year lead, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good question. It's hard to predict the future. I would say so. I mean, it's you know, we're putting the money down, and they're promising to give us a truck. And if they don't do that legally, they have to give us the money back. There's always the risk of what happens if they don't have it. I know. I'm sure there's
So-
payment schedules.
Actually, for this truck, we don't have to put any money down.
Awesome.
There you go.
90% is due upon completion. The other 10% is due when we take delivery of it. They do have a third option, and I've talked to Dan about this, but this is a later conversation, but just as FYI, if we did put a down payment of whatever we wanted on it, before December 31st, 2025, it would earn 5%. After that, in 2026, it would earn 4.5%. And then that interest earned can be used for tools and equipment off the truck that would potentially come off the top of the price that we have here. We don't know if we're doing that. We haven't talked about that. We need to do step one before we further there, but there is no down payment required.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And I also just would add, I mean, E1 they're a pretty big deal manufacturer. They've been doing this since, I think, the 70s. You know, the reason the lead time is so long is because they have so many orders. So I don't know that we have a ton of worry about them going under.
They got building stuff going up the East Coast constantly, you know, it's what their bread and butter is.
Oh, good. Any other questions?
If I may speak, in all actuality, your decision really does need to be made tonight if you want to take advantage of the 5%.
Come on up and talk before everybody can hear. At home, thank you.
Actually, your decision needs to be made tonight if you want to take advantage of the 5%, because city council will need to adjust the equipment budget to be able to pay if you wanted to do a down payment, because it would need to be paid by December 31st of 2025. They also have another option that they would give a 4.5% interest if you were to do it next year. And what I had shared with Chief Mellinger is that if you were to look out today and you were to look at investments for 2 years in which government can invest into, CDs are going at, in a 2 years, is about a 3.8%. You're looking at probably about a 3.6 on treasuries, and you're looking at municipalities as about a 3.6. So I can't even get you 4% on, you know, on the money. But again, just as Councilmember Nordby had brought up, there is always a risk associated with that, a down payment, but then you've also heard that this is a very reputable company. So if you were to go that way, we would need to have a friendly amendment to the proposed resolution where you would be authorizing the city to prepay some dollar amount in December of 2025 to take advantage of the 5% credit offered by E1. And you'd also have to authorize the city to increase the 2025 equipment budget by whatever that amount is and decrease the 2026 budget by that amount, the equipment budget. So those would have to be considered. I know it's throwing it at the 11th hour. He just brought this to my attention late yesterday afternoon that there was an option for city to consider that.
What is your thoughts? What do you like to see?
Again, it's,
I mean, as the guy who holds onto the checkbook.
Well, again, I mean, they're a very reputable company. I wouldn't pay the whole thing
Nope.
down. I would pay a portion of it.
I
You
figured.
would get that as a credit off of your purchase of the,
Equipment
At
that
the
you
end.
need on the ladder or the truck.
right. So it's really, if you want to take that risk, what are you comfortable with to be able to get that, interest component to it, from a dollar standpoint. What are we talking about? We're talking, you're gaining, potentially a little over 1% of interest. Is that worth that risk? That's kind of, you're kind of, look, I looked a little bit at E1 as a company, and they seem to be pretty solid, but again, there's always risk associated with any of those types of moves.
So is there money to move around to put down?
Yes, the equipment fund does have the funds to do that, and that's one of the positive things what the city council has been moving in the past years is to be able to put ourselves into this position. That's what we did with the Motorola order for the police, was being able to get them to discount their price at over 4% rate, that if we were to pay it at once instead of amortization over the 5-year period. Again, that having cash is allowing the city council to have more flexibility, as we move forward. So that's why this option is actually something that the city could seriously consider. Again, it's the risk that you're associated with it, versus.
What do you have it invested in right now? What's your percent that you're getting with the money that we have in that fund?
We're probably averaging overall, because I've got it spread
Sure.
over multiple years, we're probably averaging overall probably about a 3.9%. And you've seen the Fed has made, cuts, interest rate cuts. They just made one here in December. So that'll start to impact interest rates on a downward side to it, even though they're looking at in 2026 not as many cuts at this point in time, but that's a shoot, because you have strong leadership in the White House that's looking for more and more cuts. The more cuts that there are, that means that your interest rates are going to go down. So this is something that you would lock in at that 5%. My understanding is it's not variable on anything. It's locked in at the 5%. So it gives you an option to look at that. And I just wanted to be able to give you all of the information for you to make a decision. But it would have to be made tonight to take advantage of the 5%. You do have time if you want to look at, potentially locking in at the 4.5%, because that I think was offered
For 26, okay.
Dan, can you help me with my back of the napkin math, just so we're all talking about the same thing? So if we put down 1% for down payment, so 177,500, over the 2 years, that's going to get him about 13,000 in free tools of upgrade. Is that
Well, it's actually going to be a credit that can come right off of the
right?
purchase price, right?
Yeah,
So at 1%, that'll get us 13,000 off.
that's 10%. Yeah,
What were you looking at for the amount that you were actually looking at?
177,000.
would be 10%.
No,
1 point.
Yeah.
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 No, you're only, 1% of that's only 1,700.
Yeah, no, I said 1%. That, he corrected me wrong, 10% is what I was thinking. It's 177,000.
So if we did 10%, I guess what is feasible is, 10, 20, I mean, obviously, we don't want to do 100%.
Well, but what I'm saying is that if you do a 10%, which is $177,000, the incremental of what, I'm going to say the 5% versus the 4% is a 1%, which is the delta from what we potentially could invest ourselves versus what they're offering. I don't look at it from the full amount of.
Sure.
five,
Right now, you're at 4, almost 4. and
Yeah.
This is one thing over. Now, is your 3.9, is your variable, is that locked in? You're going to go up and down? Because this is locked in for 24 months.
Yeah, what we have invested is locked in, but again.
Okay.
I
So
have-
what's that, 3.9 will stay
I have
put?
maturities going all the way through for 5.5 years, so.
Okay, so yeah, so we're locked in at the 3.9 too. Also, I should say not 2. So right now, you're at about 3.9. So we're locked in as long as we'd be locked in at the 5
For
would
the
be.
2-year period.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's about a little over percent for, what's that, 17?
Yeah, so
100?
when you look at it that way, but I wanted to make sure that you had full disclosure, that
Oh, yeah,
you have all
this
the
is what we're-
information in front of you. And especially when Chief Malinger talked about that's something we can decide later on. You can't on the 5%, you could on the 4.5%, and that's.
So that 1% over that 2 is like 1,700 then, right? Because that was the original one you're talking about. So that's only $1,700 difference,
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah, for a 10%,
Yeah.
yeah. So to me,
I mean, if you stay at the 3.9 where we're at now, and we lock it at 5, that's still about the same 1%, so about 1,700 over that time frame.
so to me, if you're asking me would I do that, I wouldn't.
Yep, thank you.
For that delta piece to it.
Yep, I'd have to explain, that makes
However, I
sense.
would make the decision if you're all, in favor
No.
of approving this, that we do move forward here now tonight.
Correct.
Because that locks in, at the first of the year, as we've mentioned before, there's a 4.5% increase in the cost of this, which would amount to about $76,000. So we do want to lock into it sooner than later, if the
Yep.
city council is in agreement with this is the right direction for the city.
That's the reason why, we run it the way we do. We can ask questions. We come up here and just get it done and, not formalities. Let's talk it out and see what's best. So,
Do you plan on adding additional stuff to the truck? Is that, when we purchase it, is it basic, then you,
So within the quote from E1, the 1.75 includes equipment and a shelving allowance to adjust things for the equipment. And I added into our CIP an extra $25,000 for the equipment that we're going to have to purchase as well.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for thinking ahead.
yeah. Okay, as far as are we good without the friendly amendment are we good just to leave it in our count for the 4%?
Yeah.
So we'll just go forward with what we have on here, which is authorizing the first phase of the ladder truck? Correct?
Yes.
All right. Can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
So move. Councilmember Woods.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Schwer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all and for all the hard work. We
Thank you, Chief.
appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah.
We
Appreciate all the
really-
thought you put into this and, deciding on the right truck for our city.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Jordan and Ethan, thank you
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Good to see y'all.
Didn't mean to exclude you guys.
All right, thank you very much.
That was money for that little game, just
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to talk it out. Because at the beginning, it was like, wait a minute.
Do it like, decide now.
Yep. You ready for your
All righty.
little updates?
I am. So we had a staff meeting today. Updates from our departments. Electric had their new apprentice start yesterday, so today was the second day. So he already came with experience coming from another municipal, so he's going to work out well. Out of all the applicants, he stuck out pretty good. So they're wrapping up their inventory count and getting ready for the audit, and they'll be here mid-January to go over the audit with them. They're also prepping for getting the electric over for the student-built house, so it's not dealing with 3 or 4 feet of frost when they're ready for it. And they're also doing some planning on some upgrades in the substation here for 2026. Community development, as always, is working on just different ordinance updates, so they'll be coming forward. They're also working on a year in review preparation that staff can share. Communications, Ava's working on the new resident guide that we had started a while back. She's picking that back up and pulling that together. Also doing the final newsletter for this year. That'll go out tomorrow. Otherwise, she's going to be taking a couple weeks off and heading home for the holidays. So good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
And of course, finance is getting ready for the auditors at this point, wrapping up the budget now and starting the process all over again. Police had active shooter training today at the U of M. Assuming that went well. Good. And they've been doing a good job keeping our streets clear for the snow removal out there, so appreciate that. Public Works they're working on a potential grant for the year 2020, is it 26th or 27 for your next ash tree removal grant? Yeah, we're looking into it. We gotta see if we can have 2 at once. Still looking into it. Getting the skating rinks ready to go, as long as the weather cooperates and stays cold. They can have that ready for the holidays here. And he told you about the chlorination. They did have a test that passed last week. They did take another test, yesterday, and they're waiting for the results on that. But still probably bringing that out into next year for keeping the chlorination going. And fire, as he was saying, working with the ISO for our insurance rating, and they have training tomorrow with their Mayday operations.
As soon as he gets the money, he heads out. You notice that?
Yeah. Knows how it works. All right, that's all I got for you.
It's true.
All right, thank you very much. Reports from commissions and committees.
Parks and Recreation is not having a meeting this month. The next one will be January 28th, 6:30 in council chambers.
Thank you very much.
EDA won't meet until March.
All right, we did have a meeting.
Oh, God, that's right, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did have our December meeting.
Yeah,
We went
Andrew,
over the-
that was Andrew Nath's last.
Yep, Andrew
Okay,
Nance, yep,
yep.
and we went over the budgets, what we went through for our 25, 26, what we did in 25 and 26, and then we were able to go through that and do some more as far as changing some of the stuff for the grants for the facade, lowering it down to 5,000.
Right.
And doing anything else to 5,000, so that'll be 2,500, 2,500.
Currently, it's at 10,000 that
yep.
you'd have to spend before you would be allowed for a 50% reimbursement. But another thing we threw out there is, do we want to broaden the program, working with, whether it's the mechanicals of the building or what have you. So we'll discuss that at the next meeting.
Try and open that up a little bit more, so we had a good meeting. You, sir.
Arts and culture, we had an interview last week, or just after our last meeting, for a new member, and she got approved tonight, so.
She's perfect.
Welcome, Ashley Perfect.
Yep. The name like perfect, that was fun.
The Planning Commission, I'm pleased to announce, and I want to thank you all for confirming that Patrick Police will continue to be the chair tonight. We all voted on that. And the normally scheduled meeting would be January 1st, which is not going to happen. So the next meeting of the Planning Commission will be January 8th.
Oh, good. Good. Thank you very much. Any general business?
I attended Holiday Hop. It was quite the event. It was very festive, and the weather was wonderful. So thanks to the Business Association for putting that on. It was well attended.
Yes, it was.
I was unable to make it, and I'll try to, at the next one on the coffee with the council.
Yep. We're looking at setting up, Ava's looking at trying to set up a time in January for all of us to get together, so.
The mayor and I attended the Holly Jolly Night out at Casey Lake Park, and it was a good time for all. Very cold, but had a huge bonfire with the help of the fire department, and popcorn, movies, hot chocolate. It was a blast for everybody. And Santa was there.
Yeah, if we would have built a fire that big, we'd all have tickets.
I just want to thank all the residents. The Christmas tree, the North St. Paul Christmas tree project was a resounding success with the amount of stuff that was donated. So just thank you all for coming together and helping a great cause.
All right. Thank you. I was trying to remember if there's anything else. I think we got it covered.
Brian.
Just wishing everybody a happy, healthy, and safe holidays.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas, Happy
Yes.
Hanukkah,
Yep. Yep, and thanks to
Kwanzaa.
Ava for a great job she does getting this stuff. And this is a month she's been doing a lot, so great appreciation for that. And thanks, everybody. And nothing else, I'll ask for adjournment.
So moved.
So move. Councilmember Schwer.
Second.
Second. Councilmember McKenzie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Our
Happy
next
holidays.
meeting is
Happy holidays,
January
everybody.
6th.
January 6th.